So there's been a lot of interest in the new 300L, and it's only available in Thailand at the moment. I've had 3 CRF300Ls and they've all been solid, reliable bikes, but I've upgraded to this. Well, upgraded, I've got a Husky 300 at home as well, but the maintenance on that and the cost in Thailand is quite ridiculous, so I wanted a bit of a bush bashing beast that I could give some punishment to without having to worry about breaking it. So I'll talk you through what's different about the 300L. So this one, I've had it about 3 weeks and it's done 400 kilometers, and all of that pretty much is off-road, apart from going along roads to move from trailhead to trailhead. So I think I've got the hang of it now. I've got to say, stock, the bike was underpowered, overgeared, heavy, terrible suspension. So I've made a few mods. If you're going to ride this bike off-road, you need to make some modifications. Stock, it is purely for street, I'd say, or maybe some gravel roads, but that's at the absolute most. So I'll run you through the things that I've done to the bike to make it off-road worthy. First of all, bars that aren't made of cheese. These are a generic Thai brand, but I've dropped the bike a couple of times and they've held up to it. They feel quite good, not too much vibration from that big single cylinder, so they feel good. Absolute must. Then second absolute must, some decent tyres. Again, Duro brand, Thai special. They work perfectly well. I run them at a higher PSI because I don't like punctures, and of course a rim lock as well. That's on both ends. One of the biggest improvements, Öhlins Essential. They just change a front spring for a heavier spring, and they fiddle about with the valving, which helps rebound a lot. It's now quite a forgiving fork. And also we got rear Öhlins. That is the game changer. That turns this bike into purely street, to something that handles pretty much every trail that I ride. So really good. What else? Grips, the stock ones are awful. I want to change the levers, but I haven't got around to that yet. Just one thing to note though, the pull on this clutch, it feels like amazing. It's not hydraulic, but it's super light and really easy to operate. I've risen the bars a little bit for a more comfortable riding position. I've swapped the sprockets for a larger rear. I'm also going to go for a smaller front as well, just to give that a little bit more pickup in first and second gear, for wheelies mainly, and for trail riding. The stock exhaust is an absolute pig. It weighs about 7 kilos and you can drop down to about 2 kilos with one of these definitely genuine FMF power cores. It's really definitely genuine. You buy only genuine exhausts in Thailand. Other than that, the stock pegs, way better than the old ones, much wider, but they'll be getting replaced. Stock brake lever, I quite like it because the number of times I've hit rocks and roots with it so far and just bent it back. So investing in these expensive RFX type ones that just snap when you try and bend them back, I don't see any problem with the stock ones. So they're quite good. And I think that is it. Tyres, sprockets, suspension, bars, and it's a bit of a dream bike. So why did I buy this bike? Well, these are my usual kinds of trails in the woods in this beautiful part of Thailand, on the eastern seaboard. There's nothing super technical. All the most technical stuff that I can do here, I can ride on this bike. That's not a problem. It's heavy when you drop it, but that weight is quite low down. It's got quite a low center of mass, and it's pretty easy to pick up. If I was a 65 kilo girl, I might find, or man, I might find it difficult to pick up, but it's not too bad really, because most of the weight is very low on the bike. The engine itself, The engine is new and redesigned. Well, I think it's redesigned version of the CB300 engine. I think it puts out 31 horsepower, which might go up a little bit with being a bit easier to breathe with the new exhaust. And when with a bigger rear sprocket and a smaller front sprocket, that is perfectly usable. It's not so great on the highway. A comfortable cruising speed is probably 85 kilometers an hour, 90 kilometers an hour if you're going long distances. But if you're going to go long distance touring on it, you just put the gearing back to stock. Height wise, the bike is this Asian market one, specifically Thai. This is made in Thailand. I think it is slightly lower than the ones that will be available in America and Europe. So if you've got a long body and short legs like me, then it's perfectly suited. The ground clearance, not like that on a European bike, but that's why you install a bash guard straight away. I have hit that a few times and it would have been pretty bad without it, I think. But it's very cheap to do and it makes the riding position a bit more comfortable. So here's that new Honda display. Bit jazzy, don't really get much of an advantage from it. It does give you a gear selector, which you can't see in this light, which is kind of useful sometimes, maybe. The one other thing, the new headlight is LED and it is incredibly bright. I'm looking forward to trying this some night riding. So yeah, it is an amazing headlight. See if you can even see it in this light. No. Okay, so what's it like to ride? Well, I think the best thing to do is to show you. Let's go.